Hey guys, I'm Nice Mark, and today. Wait a minute. That's not right. Cut.
What is up, guys? It is the Redstone Scientist here, and we are back with a debugging kind of episode. Well, not really. Okay, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look inside the debug mode world, which is something I've done before, but I would love to do again, especially on camera. So if you don't know what debug mode is, first of all, you can access it by going to More World Options, going over to Customized, holding Shift, and clicking on World Type again. And you get to debug mode, and it locks you in spectator mode. You can actually change it with commands, but that's what that is. So, debug mode will make a void world, but it will display in a loop every single block type and block variation in the game. You'll see. But it is primarily used for resource pack makers to take a look at each of the block types. So as you can see here, we have each of the variations of the rail and so forth, and it's all floating. We got all the different types of fire. Really great. Really cool. I actually don't know if I like the fire in this resource pack. I may change it. This is my normal resource pack that I use, because this is going to teach us a little bit more about some of the different block types that we can set in games or maps or whatever when we're working with commands. So this is gonna be pretty cool. So let's so here we've got all the different stone types. That's pretty interesting. I guess that's not really important. We got this. What is that? Let's actually go into game mode 1 just so we can pick blocks. Actually, we're gonna have to do control pick block. Wait a minute, why isn't that working? Okay, let's actually do game mode 3 and do F3. Okay, so yeah, snowy grass, dirt, coarse dirt, podzol. Yeah, we've got all the different things here. I'm liking all these textures so far. I recently sort of redone my resource pack. Reduce debug info. True. Oh, no, wait, I want to see the, thing, so no. We got the different water types here. A lot of different flowing water types and so forth. A lot of different options for that. And we got all the different lava types. Those are important. Oh, and I was actually wrong. They actually turned off the part that makes it loop. So it's actually just one square of all the stuff. We got the different parts of beds. You can see bed facing east, and it's the foot part. Bed facing east, the foot part. All the different orientations, is that the right word, of bed. Note blocks, sand blocks. This is probably not too interesting, but for those of you who do command stuff, this is a pretty cool thing. Dispensers. Okay, so actually the difference between these two is one is triggered and one is not. They look the same, but I wonder if you could actually change the textures. I bet you could. Glass, I have a clear glass in this resource pack. We got the sponges, all the different leaf types, and well, are these showing the different leaf types in the different biomes, or what? Because I want to be able to see them in the different biomes. That's important. Jungle, birch, spruce. Okay, no, it's not. It's just doing all the check decay and decayable stuff. That's not good. We've got the total oak blocks, access none. So yeah, you could do, I guess, /block data access none. So actually, let's try doing something like that. Let's do block data down one block, and we'll do access, what, east? Is that a thing? The target holder is not a data holder block. It's not? Oh yeah, it's not, because it's just wood. Okay, so how would you... I know there's a way to get that, but I don't remember how to do it. Let's do log 110. No, that's not right. Log 110. All right, that's not a thing. 9, 8, set. I don't remember how to do this. I think you may have to use MC Edit to do it. Yeah, I think you do. You have to use MC Edit to do it. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. We've got all the different wood types here. One of my favorite maps of all time. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't remember the name of the map maker right now, but it's one of my favorite maps of all time, Revenge of the Dragon Egg. Actually played it before they came out with the resource pack that had all the sounds to it, so it's like a million times better now than it was then. I highly suggest playing it. I'll hopefully remember to link it in the description. They had slanted roofs. And the way they did that was by retexturing ascending or descending powered rails, like this one. And so they could get a texture that was just like a triangle, like that. It was very cool. All the different variations of the rails and so forth. We got the piston heads and piston bodies and whatever. All the piston extension types. So, really, I guess the point of looking at all this stuff is to let people know that these all sort of count. These are all blocks with different block data, or different blocks with different block data. So, that each of these things, just to think about, yeah, these things exist, and I can get these things to be different, I guess. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if you do commands, you know how helpful this is. We got all the different wool types. I really like the wool in my world. This is not the Faithful texture pack wool, which is what most of the textures are from, the Faithful pack. There are a whole lot of fire types. Wow. A lot of fire types. Yeah, that's a lot of fire. Unfortunately, you can't, like, look at it to get the information about it, but I'm actually not so sure I like the texture of fire. We'll have to look at that in a different world. I'll look at that on my own. Now, I'm not incredibly sure what is supposed to be here. What's missing here? Is there stuff missing, or what is happening here? Because, I mean, maybe there's just nothing else in that row. Is that possible? Or is it, like, is that invisible, that type of block? Yeah, see, look, there's fire missing here, too. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, let's continue on our way. Speed up a little bit and start over here. So this is all of the different types of redstone. So you can see that basically the way the block data is formatted for redstone is, so we've got in each direction it could go, it's telling the game in the block data which way the redstone is continuing, because all the redstone connects. So as you can see, we've got the dot in the center. They all have that. It's got a power of 1, as you can see over on the right. So, well, actually, let's go down. So it's redstone wire, of course. And then going in the east direction, which is this direction, it's going up onto the next block, because you can see it's going up the side of the block. So the east says up, and then on the north, it's also going up. On the south, there's none, so it doesn't add anything. And then on the west, it's going to the side, so it adds that little bit there. And that's how all the redstone is able to connect up. So here they've got all the different powers of redstone and all of the different possible combinations of connecting redstone. So there's a whole lot of block data that tells... There are a whole bunch of variations that tell the game how to display redstone dust. Pretty interesting. Here we've got the Christmas chests, all of the different stair variations. Those are pretty cool. In case you didn't know, I believe... Actually, don't take my word for this, but I believe you can retexture each variation of stair, like, in the way it's facing, so that if you have a stair facing this way, you know, it looks like this, but then when you have it facing to the side, you can have, like, a whole different block model for it. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can retexture, you can redo the block models. Yeah. You can do the block models, but I don't think you can just natively do... I don't know if that made any sense, but, yeah. Now... Clearly, they don't have a spawner for every single type of mob. I guess probably because there are just way too many variations of all the different types of mobs and the different attributes of mobs that could be there. We've got the different types of doors. If you remember, the way we used to do barriers and barrier block type stuff before there was a barrier in the game is we would just do the bottom halves of doors. Or is it the top halves? I don't remember. But here, we also have a whole bunch of block data telling the game how to display these things. Which way it's facing, where the hinge is, if it's open, if it's powered, all that sort of good stuff. We've got all the different stages of wheat here, all the different stages of different hydrations of farmland, all the different things of furnaces. Now, obviously, we can't display all of the block data. Actually, it's not block data. It's NBT data, I guess. I'm actually not sure what the data is called in the data that's on a sign. We've got all of the different stair types for that. Whoop, here we go, all the different stair types for that, all the different ladders and so forth. We got the levers. Also, for the levers, there's a whole bunch of data that needs to be displayed. Whether it's which way it's facing, whether it's powered or not, all sorts of good stuff like that. Wall signs. This really lets you see a little bit more into all the different, like, there are way more blocks, or rather, there are way more different variations of blocks than people think. I mean, think about this whole place, how many different variations of doors there are, how many different things the game needs to process in order to display these doors. I mean, it's not that much to process, but it's more than we think about. Oh, now this is interesting. I actually didn't know this. See, now this is something that we can use. Well, I don't know if we can use it, but it's good to know, I guess. That cactus actually has different ages. I didn't know that. I thought it was just, we're going to update it and cause it to have a chance to grow or not. I didn't know that it actually goes through age stages. I just thought it had a very low chance of growing. I learned something new. So we got the different ages. Now, although they may look the same, they actually are getting closer and closer to growing. I didn't know that. We've got the clay. Now, for the reeds, I knew that they did have different ages. I don't know why I thought it was different. And now these two, they have record or they don't. All the different fence variations, all the different repeater variations. If you don't know what this is called repeater locking. I don't know if I mentioned that in Mastering Minecraft. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. All of the different variations of repeaters, a whole bunch of these. I mean, just think about that. Think about how much block data is contained in a Redstone creation. Cakes. I'm planning on doing some cake elevators in my cake horse elevators, rather, in my Let's Play world. Got the portal blocks. We've got all this stuff. I wonder if you could go through the nether in this type of world. We'll check later. All the different glass. Remember, I have clear glass. I also have clear stained glass. All the different trapdoors. All of these different things. These are silverfish blocks, I think, monster eggs they're called. All the different mushroom types, a lot of different mushroom types, all the different iron bars, the different stages of growth for pumpkins and melons and stuff. Wow, there are a lot of them. Whoa, there are a lot of them. Let's see, we got the melons themselves. Oh, we already looked at that. We got the different more stair types, way more stair types. We got the different stages of nether wart. This is pretty interesting. All of the different kinds of thing. Oh, I didn't know this about the block data because I rarely use brewing stands. But apparently, it actually stores. I mean, I know that it stores it, but I never really thought about it. If you know what I mean, the fact that it stores data about which of the bottles is actually activated. Has bottle 0, has bottle 1, has bottle 2, true or false. I never really thought about it that way. The end portal. We got the different end frames and so forth. A lot of different stuff here. I keep saying that. Cocoa beans. Another. Oh, wait, this isn't blank. This is all the different things of string. Now, this, I believe, has even more variations than the redstone does. So, I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but I'm looking at a piece of string here. And so it's tripwire. And so there's a lot of different things that we need to know about each piece of tripwire within the game. We need to know whether it's attached to another piece of tripwire. We need to know whether it's disarmed, whether it's facing in the east, whether it's facing in the north, because remember, it can go all 4 different directions. Whether it's suspended or not, because remember, tripwire that's on the ground, I believe, is lower. Isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, it is a little bit lower than other tripwire. Whether it's in the west, there's a whole bunch of different things that tripwire goes through to display. All the different stages of cocoa beans and, what do you call them? Oh, no, wait, these are flower pots. That's interesting. I didn't think, so that's sort of interesting that, excuse me, the jukeboxes actually don't display, I guess because it doesn't matter what's in them. well, what I was thinking what was going to happen was that the jukeboxes were going to have a thing of block data that says what record is inside of them. Instead, they only have a block data that says has record or doesn't have a record, true or false. But what's interesting, and they look exactly the same, both of them, but what's interesting is, yes, these do look different, but what's interesting is that it actually stores I guess that makes sense, to store what type of flower is in there, because it really does matter what direction it's facing and what it looks like. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. We've got the different mushrooms and the flower pots. Let's see here. The different stages of the other crops, comparators, all that good stuff. Now, wait a minute. Does the comparator actually store the power it receives? It must not. It doesn't. I mean, it does, but, like, what this means is that you can't just have a comparator with a certain amount of power already in it. Meaning you can't just set a block for the comparator. You can set a block for a powered comparator or an unpowered comparator, even if there's nothing attached to it. So, like, you can remotely power it, I guess, which is a cool little trick, by the way, that you can use in your maps. But I guess you cannot you can't set block a comparator that has a specific power output. You can only do powered or unpowered, which is interesting, which means that the power is actually not stored, as far as I can tell. I may be wrong about this. Some of you more technical people maybe correct me on this, but as far as I can tell, that means that the power that is input and outputted from the comparator is actually not stored within the comparator itself. It's stored within the two or more pieces of redstone dust surrounding it. So that's interesting. All the different snow layers, or no, those I guess are pressure plates. Anvils. What are these? Oh, heads, more buttons, more crops, more of this stuff, more rails, all the different glass panes. Again, those are all clear. We've got all of the different thingy-madoodlers here. Hay bales. I don't know how much more we're going to learn from this. Lots more stuff. We've learned some interesting stuff today, though. All the different fence gates and stair thingies and... Is anything here? Yeah, so I'm a little bewildered by these blank spaces. Are these spaces that are supposed to be there, or am I missing something, or what is happening? Is there actually something there and I can't tell? But I think the way we're going to end this video is cause a huge chain reaction and perhaps crash the game by making some of this stuff. I don't know if this is going to work, actually. I don't know if the rules are a little different in the debug world. We're going to make some of this stuff of a chain reaction of updates. Let's see what happens if we break one of these. Let's do set block here, air. What? Are you not allowed to place blocks? Okay, you aren't allowed to place blocks here. Are you allowed to break blocks? Oh, yeah. Okay, you can't break blocks. It just, like... Yeah, it regenerates. So you know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm actually gonna be right back. Okay, guys, so... I had a bunch of worlds here. I don't know whether or not you've seen them yet, because I have been working for over 30 minutes. I have over 30 minutes of footage of me trying to make something cool happen for the end of this video. I have cut it all out because it is so much of a fail that I actually have a joke clip of me eating crackers while watching an explosion happen in this world. So I think what we're just going to do is we're going to go and take a sneak peek, if you stuck around, at this world here. This is a sneak peek at an upcoming series where I talk about this world and talk about the development of it. And if you stuck around for this part, I'll tell you what this is. If any of you have ever played Game Dev Story by Kairosoft for the iOS or Android, or I think it's also on the PC, these are some of the command blocks, just a fraction of them, that I'm working on for a recreation of the minigame that is better. Recreation of the game that is better than the actual game itself. It's going to have more features than the app itself does. So I'll just leave you with that as the end of this video. This was a pretty silly video, but, yeah. That is all I have time for today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to check out the jam-packed description for more science. Thanks for watching.